It is Friday night, mofos. It is late. I've been sitting here honestly debating for about 15-20 minutes about whether or not to actually get on. And I was painting while I was doing that. So a little counterintuitive there for you. And I thought I had turned the volume off on everything, but perhaps not. In any case, yeah, so I'm still working on this here. And really, I think we are knocking on the door for actually being done to where I consider acceptable. You know, there's some obvious detail stuff to take care of. I've been honestly, for the last day or so, kind of living off of Pam Bondi's meltdowns. That shit's flavorful to me. I love it when people do the nonsense. I did have my broadcast the other day where I was watching it and putting the dramatic music to the newsreels. I had my dramatic newsreels going on, and holy shit, Pam Bondi was going down smooth as a cold brew, to me anyway. Of course, watching somebody just have a complete and utter meltdown that makes no sense, like seriously nonsensical, not based in reality whatsoever. It's sustenance to me, as George W. Bush once said about his religiosity. So yeah, I'm a sick bastard like that. Anywho, we're getting on the light quality of this. As you can see, every time I get a little bit of activity, its magnitudes better than previous. And that's ultimately what we're shooting for. Can't ask for more than that. See some kind of improvement out of this stuff all the time. But yeah, I mean, you know, there's horrible stuff going on. But you can't fight it 24 hours a day. Ain't nobody that level of activist. I might actually I don't know if I was trying to figure out how to speak English just now, but the random thoughts, they get kind of intrusive this late in the day for me. I mean, I've had no caffeine for probably a good 6 hours now. Adderall was burnt out quite a while ago. I know people might be like, well, why? You don't got to run off all that stuff. And to that I say, fuck off. Fuck off in the hardest and loneliest of ways. I do love me some caffeine. I guess the truth is, I would much rather be feeling like I've been shot through a cannon than feel like I'm at the mercy of, a work day. Who wants to feel like that? Yeah, I'd prefer to feel like a rocket getting ready to launch. Ultimately, I think one of the things that I debated in coming on here at all was how much, how much I want to do this. And I think when you have a passion, even if you're going to be tired, wore out, just completely whipped, talking yourself out of doing it that's cheating yourself out of your own discovery, out of spending your time, no matter how tired, doing what you actually enjoy to do, in large part what you were put here to do. I feel like when you have something like this, you should be a little obsessive over it. this is how you're best able to, if you have a gift, you invest in that time, and you make damn sure that you invest in that gift that you've been given. And really, the ultimate goal, I would love to be able to make a living off just artwork. Circumstances don't allow that right now, though. I just paint when I can. Don't have any representative or anybody who can push the product. You know, I am not good at that, for crying out loud. I had to talk myself onto getting on here tonight. You know, how the heck am I gonna know what's up with marketing? And I know there's probably a couple of other places that I, you know, could have gone today after work. Saw about talking somebody up and getting some paintings hung up. But you know, if all you have the energy for is the most enjoyable part of it, I wouldn't discourage you from just doing the parts you enjoy. Because even if you never make it as, you know, like a working artist, and that's just the thing, is I don't think that a lot of us are chasing like fame or notoriety, anything like that. I think a lot of people with these creative pursuits would be happy enough just being able to make their living off of this, you know, and just do this all day. I think it's a swell use of time. But yeah, I am exhausted, because reality is I'm on here pretty late. I've already worked a full day today. Already went out and did a whole bunch of other stuff that, you know, kind of grown dude responsibilities. And this is the last thing I've been able to get to today. And the only thing that I don't like about it is that it had to wait till the last thing. Wow. This mic is ultra sensitive today. I don't think I did anything funny with the settings. I did try to go live on Instagram as well, but it seems Instagram is made in such a way that it's not going to want to let me do that while I'm, on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. But just a little bit of all right, my people. Because we're still gonna get it on. Alright, so we're gonna close that up. I used a fairly dark green there. That's okay. Because it's an entire world of happy little trees. Yep, I was starting to get to that point, man. But I don't quite want to give up on this. Not yet. Ugh. I was looking up videos, well, earlier, looking at the silly headlines. Hello. Come on. Aw. He wanted his attention. Yeah. He is lonely. And he's got to get the comforts. Right? So in case you're wondering, this is Ollie. He is part poodle, beagle, Chihuahua, and Siberian Husky. For those types, he takes the most after the Husky. It looks like a little blonde Uh, like, I mean, he looks kind of like a wiener dog with husky features. But he takes after the huskies. He's got a little fluff tail. And until recently, he only barked. But now, we can get him to howl. He gets all amped up when we do it, right? But we got him during COVID. He was just a little guy. A teeny tiny pup. So he didn't get well socialized, and he has got mad separation anxiety. But he's a good fella. Right. Has to come get his cuddles every now and then. It's mandatory. Okay, I'm gonna put you down. Okay? You can sit. Hopefully I didn't paint some dog hair into there. Because my man does shed. Oh, where'd my paintbrush go? Oh, yeah. Yeah. But right now, every time I set a little brush to it, it's going to start looking like dramatic changes. They're going to get more and more pronounced. That's how you can tell you're closing out on the end. Now see, certain little details make a big difference. So, if you can see, up in the corner of the eye, we've got where the lashes kind of curl in right there. And then all you see is this little tiny wisp of skin right behind the white of the eye. So we're gonna paint that in very carefully because it's gonna make a good, decent difference here. Now that's a little bit too much of a mob. See if we can get a more natural pinkish, lilac. I think this is as close as we're going to get. So we'll lay in this powder pink color, and that's just going to be, well, a little bit of a base for this right here. This is going to allow us to paint in some other details. And they don't gotta be big, huge, earth-shattering details. But they're going to make a pretty big difference once it's all said and done. That dried up a little bit too fast, but luckily we'll be able to throw a little bit of this solution on it. This is the liquid ink acrylic paint. Honestly, it's liquidy enough that you can use it in dip pens. A little bit too intense, but since it's ink, we can just do a little bit of a wash with it. Nothing special, nothing incredibly difficult that requires a gigantic amount of skill level. This is all pretty simple right here. Just keep, so like I said when I first started getting into it, we just want there to be a certain quality to it, not perfection. Perfection is, oh, it's a trap for artists. You don't want to make your own goddamn prison. Okay. But yeah, we'll get some more details in here. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and start getting this indication of the pink out of there. The pink was just almost like gesso for canvas. It's providing a base to lay color into. Yeah, so that is getting good light quality now. As you can see, and you may be able to tell, that little detail that I was talking about with the eye makes quite a bit of difference towards something looking not done or something actually looking like it works. That's how we do, baby. We'll just keep working and working and working. The more you go at it, the better you're going to get. The better you get, the more you're going to feel encouraged to keep moving forward. Perfect. See if we can get a very mild pink. That way the blend looks more natural. I could keep fighting it, but it's not going to do much good. Sometimes you just got to let the materials do what they are going to do. Starts to come together. hamster is barking. So I'm going to pause it for a minute. Come back. I'm waking up a little bit here. So I'm going to give us a pause for maybe 5 minutes. And if I feel fantastic about it, what I'm going to do is just let him out, come on back, and we'll watch some of those newsreels, because I know I didn't watch a lot of news today, but I know goddamn well there's some shock stuff, as there is every day with this administration. But long and short, I will be back in just a moment, so thanks for hanging out. We're going intermission, baby.
You claim to believe in the Constitution, but you...
Alright, my peeps, I'm back. Got a little snack, so I'm going to be eating some citrus on here. And I think after that, we'll just do a little tidy up on the old paints. And probably going to head to bed. You know, my man was up this morning pretty early, dealing with the stuff kiddos deal with. Parents of kiddos deal with. And I'm pretty satisfied thus far with where the painting is, especially for just going along for about an hour. I know what I want to do next, and that's going to be easy enough to execute. I may have to go get a couple of new little brushes tomorrow, because the brushes I've got, they're pretty worn out. Brush maintenance. I've never really done the disciplined maintenance on these brushes. I've just always had a couple of tried and true, and I buy new ones instead of getting rid of old ones. That said, I'm probably going to do some treatment on them tomorrow. Well, later today now. Gonna get some, probably just dish soap, or maybe soak them in alcohol for a while. That breaks down the plastics, oils, whatever's in them. And none of my brushes are natural hair. It's fine to use that stuff on the synthetics. And I'm gonna use a little teeny bit of hair conditioner on the brushes once I'm done. They'll kind of go back to their original shape and consistency like they were new. I just haven't done them in a long time that way. I think the last time I was actually in a college class for painting, that's 22, 23 years ago now. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. What's this here? 15 years. Yeah, it's been about 15 years since I've been in any class for something like that. But we're going to go ahead and take a quick pause on my self-composed background music, and we're going to see if we can get some dramatic compositions in with some news. And I saw this dramaticalness from Status Quo, who, they're alright, quite provocative sometimes, ultra left wing, which, if I'm being honest, I think that it's time everybody goes a lot more left-wing than they have been, considering the direction going as far right as the nation is going right now. It's not a good idea, assholes. So, we're going to go ahead and start that. something that builds a little more slowly. Nope. Maybe. We're getting there, people. It's gonna happen, goddammit. Beast. Oh. I thought I actually had a block. I guess I don't. Let's see, how long is this video? Shit, I can't see that. That's like 8 minutes. None of these pieces are 8 minutes. The only one is the reliable Holst. But I don't know if this is going to be that dramatic. We'll see. We'll see if it matches. Starts nice and slow.
You claim to believe in the Constitution, but you support this treason. You support this fascism. You don't believe in shit. Did you serve in the military? Have you ever done anything for this country?
It's okay.
No. Did you believe in the Constitution when you assaulted that black woman at Union Station? And then she got arrested for it? Did that make you feel like a man? And you're telling a combat infantry veteran he's a traitor. Why are you a traitor? Why are you? You believe in the Constitution?
Oh, absolutely.
So what? They violate the Constitution every single fucking day, but you believe in it? How dare you represent that flag? How dare you hold that American flag, you Nazi bitch? I could talk all day long, so you can't get your little footage. Try to agitate people. Try to get fucking punched or something. People should be punching people. We're not there yet. I will fight for your fucking rights, even though you're helping these fucking assholes betray the republic. I will stand for your rights because I believe in the rule of law. Because I believe in the Constitution. What about you, man?
Alright. Alright, that was matching up pretty damn good. I like anger hippies energy. He's fucking bringing it to him. But there's background music. Can't do it. Jesus. Oh, we can always go back to Old Reliable. Watch Pam Bondi melting down, which I done told you guys.
You go right ahead. I'm over here.
I'm living off of this shit the last couple of days. It's almost to the level of the first time I heard they're eating the pets. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. This shit really exists right now. It's fucked up. Oh well. History will not be kind to what this is right now. If they don't erase it. Fucking assholes. Alright, let's go.
Time is yours.
Time is yours.
Thank you. First, he brought up the president saying they indicted me twice. They sure did. They tried to impeach him twice. And you, Mr. Nadler, were one of the leads on the impeachment. I was on the other side. I lived that with you. During impeachment, you said the president conspired, sought foreign interference in the 2016 election. Robert Mueller found no evidence, none, of foreign interference in 2016. Have you apologized to President Trump? Have you apologized to President Trump, all of you who participated in those impeachment hearings against Donald Trump? You all should be apologizing. You sit here and you attack the president, and I am not going to have it. I'm not going to put up with it. You know, all they want to do, all the American people need to know this.
How dare
They're talking about Epstein today. This has been around since the Obama administration. This administration released over 3 million pages of documents, over 3 million, and Donald Trump signed that law to release all of these documents.
Wait, we need to do that again. Son of a bitch. Pamela. Miss Bondi. Give me the vapors. Got me and Lady G in a tizzy. Alright. We're gonna do that again, goddammit.
Signed that law to release all of those documents. He is the most transparent president in the nation's history. And none of them asked Merrick Garland over the last 4 years one word about Jeffrey Epstein. How ironic is that? You know why? Because Donald Trump, the Dow right now is over. The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming.
You're
That's
welcome.
what we should be talking about. We should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does a Dow have to do with anything? That's what they just asked. Are you kidding?
Mr. Jordan, Mr. Jordan,
Committee will be in order.
Mr. Jordan, am I going to get an extra 45 seconds added to my time?
Committee will be in order. The time belongs to the gentleman from Texas, Miss Bondi. The response.
Thank you. The Dow has shattered 50,000 for the first time. This is crazy. They said it couldn't be done in 4 years, yet President Trump has done it in 1 year. National median rents have fallen to a 4-year low thanks to Donald Trump. That's why they want to focus on Epstein and our most transparent president in the nation's history. The murder rate, as I said, has plummeted to a 125-year low thanks to Donald Trump. For an unprecedented 9 straight months, there were 0 illegal border crossings at the southern border.
No one.
That's what we should be focused on. All the great work that this president has done and will continue to do to keep America safe and to make Americans safe.
Thank you, Attorney General Bondi. I agree with you totally. I think you've done a fine job. I think that Democrats, in fact, should be apologizing to the Epstein victims for doing nothing during the 4 years that they were running the government. We did not hear about this, and it took you and President Trump to finally provide transparency and give answers to the American people, and I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you also for standing up for truth today and for fighting back against the theatrics and the time waste that you will endure over the next hour or two. I want to apologize on behalf of my colleagues on the left. They're not all that bad, but they've got to put on a ship.
Who the fuck is this ass eater? Like 100%. He's sitting there just eating ass in public. I don't think I made it this far, but this guy is fucking disgusting. And I mean, shit. I don't expect to have any sort of reach here, but I wouldn't mind if he saw me just saying, you know, bro, you're eating ass in public. Is that what they elected your bitch ass for? Because we could have got somebody that their jacket cost less than that. Could have probably done a better job of eating ass, too. Anyway, since you want to sit there watching in the corner of the room like a fucking cuck, I'm going to find out who you are, dude. I am going to mail bomb you. Like, not send mail to him. I'm just going to send a bunch of emails and shit, talking shit. Yeah. That seems to be the way to do it, get their attention, is friggin' just excoriate motherfuckers with all sorts of social media trending and sending emails to where my representative email was full. Couldn't get a message in. When the hell does that happen in this day and age? Oh God, this fucking guy. Alright, I don't know if he even fits with music anymore, but let's give it a shot.
Go. And I'm sorry that you have to go through that, and I would like to yield less. I'd say 40, and 40 is 80 seconds. The clock says 40, but I've got 80 seconds since I was so rudely interrupted, and I'll give all 80 seconds to Chairman Jordan.
And I would just yield to the Attorney General if she has anything to add.
Oh my God.
I'm fine to continue. Thank you, Chairman.
All right, the chair now recognizes, the gentleman yields back. The chair recognizes the gentlelady from California.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would note that Mr. Nadler's question has not yet been answered, but I want to start by asking it out of respect for the American public.
My. Something got derailed again. You're running a massive Epstein cover-up. Do tell.
I now recognize the gentlelady from New Jersey, Ms. MacGyver, for 5 minutes of questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member.
All right,
Mr.
Ms. MacGyver.
Lyons, as the senior official lead in ICE enforcement,
Do you think you're going to hell? I think we got to get a proper warm-up on this. Let's see what kind of chutzpah can be delivered here. Kind of
Ms.
mishigas.
MacGyver for 5 minutes of questions.
thank you, Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member. Mr. Lyons, as the senior official lead in ICE enforcement, much of today's scrutiny falls on you, and it should. We have seen repeatedly that Republicans, Trump administration, its DHS, and your agency will do absolutely anything to avoid answering for your actions. When I showed up to inspect Delaney Hall, a private prison that you contract with, ICE tried not to give us an oversight tour. Then, instead of taking accountability for ICE's attempts to keep us from seeing this facility's conditions to know if people's basic rights were being upheld, this administration is doing all they can to try to put me in prison for 17 years. When ICE shot and killed Renee Good, Kristi Noem called her a domestic terrorist. When Alex Preddy, you all tried to tell us he was threatening officers with a gun, but all we saw was a phone. This administration's clear lies fell apart, not because someone had a come to Jesus moment, but because we saw these murders from every angle. You are only here because public outrage has become so unavoidable. You are here, Mr. Lyons, because white people are getting shot in the face and chest when the cameras are rolling. Because now my Republican colleagues care about optics. But when Keith Porter Jr., a black American citizen, a son, a father, and a man loved by many was killed by an off-duty ICE agent on New Year's Eve, there were no hearings. So this is for him today. In my district, Jean Wilson Brutus, a Haitian immigrant, a beloved family man, died within 24 hours of being in ICE custody. He is just one of more than 30 people who have died in ICE custody last year. This is for all of them. Every human being your rogue, out-of-control agency has hurt, hunted down, imprisoned, killed, and continue to hold hostage even after they have agreed to be deported. We know this administration doesn't care about protecting people or sparing lives. We all see so plainly what you are doing, what you have been doing to black and brown folks, immigrants, people silenced in the shadows, now in broad daylight, to people peacefully rejecting your cruel agenda in the streets, which is their right to do. This is the despicable but predictable result of an agency that laughs at oversight, receives billions to deploy lethal force on our neighborhoods, and seems to believe that they are above the law and should be without accountability. This administration believes it can act first, explain later, or hell, never explain at all, as we see here today. You all seem to think you are the highest power who decides which people deserve dignity, protection, due process. But you are wrong. We are here for answers. We are here for accountability, and we are here because people are dying. Let me repeat that. People are dying, and you don't seem to care. So, Mr. Lyons, I've heard my colleagues ask many questions over and over again, and you cannot answer them. So let me ask you some questions that you may be able to answer. Mr. Lyons, do you consider yourself a religious man?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes. Okay, well, how do you think Judgment Day will work for you with so much blood on your hands?
I'm not going to entertain that question.
Oh, okay, of course not. Do you think you're going to hell, Mr. Lyons?
I'm not going to entertain.
Of course
Gentlelady,
not.
gentlelady.
How many government...
The gentlelady will suspend.
How
The gentlelady will suspend.
Chairman...
Gentlelady
A
will
gentlelady
not.
will suspend. As I said, the issues we're debating here are important to ones that members feel deeply about.
Thank you,
While
Chairman.
vigorous disagreement is part of the legislative process, members are reminded that we must adhere to established standards of decorum in debate. The witnesses are here voluntarily, and I will continue to remind members that while oversight is important, aggressively attacking those witnesses personally is inappropriate and not in keeping with the traditions of our committee.
Mr. Chairman, I'm just asking a question. You guys are always talking about religion here in the Bible. I mean, it's okay for me to ask you a question, right? But let me continue on. I got your notes.
All right, the gentlelady may
Thank you so much. Let me get back to my question, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. I appreciate you. How many government agencies, Mr. Lyons, are you aware of that routinely kill American citizens and you still get funding?
Ma'am, I'm not going to entertain that.
Of course you're not. Exactly. Once again, questions that you cannot answer. And that is exactly why, Mr. Chairman, and to this committee, to my colleagues, and to my colleagues across the aisle, this is exactly why we should not be funding this agency. The people are watching you. They are watching you. And this is why we need to abolish ICE. With that, I yield back. Thank you kindly.
Yes. She went there. I like it. I like it. Going to hell, she says. Are you a religious man? That's like the ultimate setup question. Because Mike Johnson's going to tell the Pope what the Pope knows about the Bible. Oh, dang, my TV remote is dancing. And so I'll probably do a couple of more newsreels just because, you know, shit, tomorrow there's going to be all new news. Who knows? Donald Trump is probably sitting in his garden tub toilet with his assistant that posts racist shit without him knowing, having a meltdown over who the fuck he's gonna get revenge on tomorrow, or he's gonna sue. So just know I have a pretty strong opinion that if this jerk alert gets away with a $10 billion payday against the IRS, it's pretty much time for the pitchfork. Pitchforks. It's pitchfork time then, baby. And on Twitch, that's primarily where I bust my signal from. This is where I'm cutting my teeth on streaming and practicing content creation and whatnot. I'm not so sure that Twitch carries a kind of viewership audience that would get overly politically active. I know, definitely have strong opinions. I know that there's a few of the little poor souls on here that will on occasion MAGA troll somebody, and then they get kicked off, and then they get back on and clan back up or whatever the hell they do. Put a touch of the black shadow in here. That little dab will do you, man. Blends so nicely. The wrong shade of green for that. There we go. We're back on the right track. It's actually making a little bit more of an interesting shadow than was there. But yeah, just me having thoughts. Teaching painting lessons while being surveilled by Palantir for being one of those horrible Antifas. Paint, did it dry out? You cur. Alright. We're back to it looking like an actual shadow. And I'm going to go ahead and lay a bit of this a little bit. See if I can speak English anytime today. We'll lay a little bit of that light stuff down. And get this highlight on the chin in there in kind of a strong way. But let's see what overly dramatic stuff we can find. Why is the agent holding a camera phone and a weapon at the same time? Oh, Teddy Bear Lou. He's a good fella. How does AOC embarrass Trump? We'll go for it, Adam. I haven't watched you in a while. This was just today. So I'm a little bit behind on the events. Might as well hear it. AOC, she's my business all the way. So let's go for it.
AOC is currently in Munich, Germany. She swiped Donald Trump's spot at the Munich Security Conference since he decided not to go. Watching Representative AOC and Governor Gavin Newsom represent us over in Munich, Germany is cathartic. Very cathartic to see admirable, respectable world leaders representing the United States. While they're at the Munich Security Conference, which I'll show you clips from, Donald Trump is quite literally praising dictators on his Truth Social. Viktor Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary, has eroded their democracy, their free press, their free elections, so much so that it's no longer a pure democracy or a democracy at all. Donald Trump aspires to be Viktor Orban, and he's currently meeting with him, praising him on Truth Social. This is just absolutely sickening. Meanwhile, he attacks our allies like Canada, like Denmark and Greenland and Europe. He praises these enemies. Once more, let's go back to the cathartic part, Representative AOC, who is really emerging as an amazing leader within the Democratic Party. Obviously, she's different than Governor Gavin Newsom. Governor Gavin Newsom plays a lot into the resist liberalism, the resist Trump, let's punch back very hard, and that is very necessary, very needed. I love the aggression. AOC, in my opinion, is giving a more forward-looking vision for the party that isn't solely unified on our opposition to Trumpism. It isn't solely based on how much we hate Donald Trump. She gives a lot of really good forward-looking ideas in this. That's not to tear either of them down. I want to highlight and display both of their leadership on the global stage because it's really just a sight to see. Let's start off with AOC. A moderator asks her, so when you run for president, are you going to impose some sort of wealth tax? And I like how this question has in it the presupposition that AOC will someday be running for president. Right. I see it too.
So when you run for president, are you going to impose a wealth tax or a billionaire's tax?
I don't think that I don't think that anyone, and that we don't have to wait for any one president to impose a wealth tax. I think that it needs to be done expeditiously.
And interestingly, when I wrote about wealth tax recently, and of course the big argument against this is always capital flight, the US is actually uniquely placed to do it because you guys tax on the basis of citizenship, so people can't flee, you know? And even if you change your citizenship, there's basically an exit tax because you have to pay a tax on unrealized capital gains. I learned this just recently.
And building on top of that, even beyond increasing the current taxes that there are, we've talked on this show about how you can end a bunch of loopholes that exist within the current system so billionaires aren't able to abuse them and pay very little in taxes. There exist, I believe, 162 different loopholes that billionaires can take advantage of. Some are actually good, some are okay incentives. A lot of them are not good. If it's a loophole that incentivizes you to fix the climate and research cancer, that's fine. But a lot of these loopholes are meant for...
I don't like the way this is matching up. Sorry, Adam. Didn't mean to just like demonetize you by my own. But goddamn, bro. You gotta let him cook.
Authoritarianism, right-wing populism, and very dangerous domestic internal politics. And that is a direct outcome of not just income inequality, but the failure of democracies over decades to deliver. The failure to deliver higher wages, the failure to rein in corporations. You know, the point was just made about antitrust. In the United States, antitrust is such a foundational bedrock value, not just because the ascent of monopolies create the abuse of power in corporations and market power, but there is a level of market concentration and corporate consolidation where a massive company can get so big that it...
Heard. We need the outrage, man. The outrage. Stay the hell away, Donald. Trump slammed with new Epstein nightmare. Oh my gosh. He never rode the Lolita Express. Come on, man. Disaster morning. I'm going to go back home and see if they put up any new varieties. Yeah, so we can dream. Yeah, I think that a lot of these guys forget that, well, this can happen to leaders when they don't deliver. And honestly, the more people see of what's actually going on, the fact that giant prison camps are being built for obscene amounts of money so that people can make obscene amounts of money off of them. There's potential. President Obama, don't touch my girlfriend. Comedian destroys. Panic Trump threatens Johnson. That's old news. I think half of his threats to Johnson aren't public. Like, he does it behind closed doors. Old Mike is, like, sitting on the bad kid chair. The one that he took out of the Epstein house. I hate Uncle Roger. That's fucked up. Come on, bro. Uncle Roger is basically a world treasure. Exposed. We've already gone over that. 30 million views. Dude, where's the outrage? Where's the good outrage? How dare you? Aw. Poor man's curry. Next to a starving dog? What the fuck? Alright, let's refresh again. I need some new videos. Oh, Midas touch. Attorney General Pam Bondi hearing. Adam Schiff. You know, I haven't watched Adam Schiff, and usually he.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Comes off as a little bit. I don't know. This might date me a whole heck of a lot, but that's fine. I'm fucking old. Rocky and Bullwinkle. There was a character named Sherman, who was Mr. Peabody's assistant. He was a little brainy kid with glasses. I feel like Sherman grew up right and wound up as Adam Schiff. If he grew up wrong, he would wind up as fucking Ben Shapiro. So, I guess we're going to go ahead and get exposed here. Let's see what Holst has to say about Adam Schiff. Is it dramatic? I fucking hope so.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Bondi, as you know, the Supreme Court in Trump versus United States held the president has absolute immunity to commit crimes in certain core areas of the president's responsibility. One of those core areas is the Justice Department. So in a breathtakingly dangerous and irresponsible decision, Justice Roberts and the majority held the president could commit crimes using the Department of Justice and be immune from prosecution. Justice Sotomayor correctly said this new immunity lies about like a loaded weapon. So the fear and the concern we have is that the incoming president will use that loaded weapon, that immunity, to commit crimes through the Department of Justice. And for that reason, it is all the more important that we have an Attorney General who has the independence, the strength, the intestinal fortitude to say no to the president when it is necessary. So my first set of questions has to do whether you have the independence to say no when you must say no. And you can say this is hypothetical, but it is not hypothetical. So let me start with one very specific non-hypothetical. The president has said Jack Smith should go to jail. Will you investigate Jack Smith?
Senator, I haven't seen the file. I haven't seen the investigation. I haven't looked at anything. It would be irresponsible of me to make a commitment regarding anything without, you're a long practicing attorney, without looking at a file.
So you would need a factual predicate to open an investigation of Jack Smith, is that right?
Not a summary by you sitting here. Yes, sir.
And not a summary by the president either, right?
Absolutely.
So a summary by the president or his desire to investigate Jack Smith would not be enough for you to open an investigation of Jack Smith, is that right?
I will look at the facts and evidence in any case. You know,
and sitting here today,
Senator, 72% of Americans
please, I only have 7
lost
minutes.
faith in the Department of Justice.
Sitting here today, are you aware of any factual predicate to investigate Jack Smith? Sitting here today, yes or no?
Senator, I will look at the facts and the circumstances.
You can't answer that question. You're not a part of the department yet. There's no worry about divulging law enforcement sensitive information. So just tell us, are you aware? Just tell us, are you aware of a factual predicate to investigate Jack Smith? Yes or no?
Senator, what I'm hearing on the news.
Are you aware of a?
Do I know if he committed a crime? I have not.
You seem reluctant to answer a simple question. Let me ask you a different simple question. The president also wants to jail Liz Cheney. Sitting here today, are you aware of any factual basis to investigate Liz Cheney? Yes or no?
Senator, that's a hypothetical, and I'm not going to answer that.
No, it's not hypothetical. I'm asking you, sitting here today, whether you are aware of a factual predicate to investigate Liz Cheney.
Senator, no one has asked me to investigate Liz Cheney. That is a hypothetical.
The president has called for it publicly. You are aware of that, aren't you?
No one has asked me to investigate.
But the president
Liz.
has
We're
called,
also worried about Liz Cheney,
the
Senator.
President has
you know
called
what we
for
should
this.
be worried about?
Ms. Bondi, please
crime rate
answer
in
my
California
questions.
right now
You are
is
aware,
through the roof.
Ms. Bondi,
Your robberies are 87% higher than the national average.
My question is this.
That's what I want to be focused on, Senator.
Do you have the power to say no to the president?
General.
And what you're suggesting today by your non-answer is you don't have the independence to say no to the president. So
This moment should haunt anyone paying attention. Not because of what was said, but because of what wasn't. At a time when presidential power has been expanded by the courts, the role of the Attorney General becomes more important than ever. This isn't a...
Okay, you ruined it. You ruined it! Well, Adam Schiff kind of ruined it too, but who the fuck is that guy? God damn. God damn. Oh, God damn. Terrible stuff, man. Christy Nome. Jesus. Boss Rutan. Yeah, we know he's fucking scary. He's gonna be scary till he's like 95. And he's gonna live till he's 95. He's gonna be the last Belgian in existence, pretty much. All right, Jared.
Florida Democratic Representative Jared Moskowitz.
Let's see if we got excoriation. Scorch marks. Can we do it? Jared Moskowitz. Do you have this potential to friggin' singe them on their short and curlies while you grill them with questions? This is what I want to know.
The pipe bomber. By the way, the other side of the aisle came with videos showing the riot on January 6th. Keep showing those videos. We can sit here and let's watch a couple hours of that footage. I don't know why you think that helps you. This reminds the American people what they saw with their eyes, thousands of people storming into a building, beating police officers. So, I mean, if we wanted the next hearing, Mr. Chairman, for like a documentary standpoint, like maybe we should watch all of the film from that day. I think that would be good. Also, it's a weird question to ask. Why wasn't the riot worse? Why didn't even more people go in? You know, why wasn't it even worse? We had a couple thousand. Why wasn't it 10,000? Why did some people decide not to break the law? It's a weird sort of thing to ask. Oh, and then we got Ray Epps. Love this. Ray Epps, okay? Ray Epps told us to do it. He told us to break the law and break windows and doors and beat police officers and hang Mike Pence and try to break onto the floor of the House of Representatives and wipe feces on the walls. We only did it because Ray Epps told us. How pathetic. Who are these lemmings that broke into the Capitol because Ray Epps told them to do it? By the way, if you go to Ray Epps' Wikipedia page, Ray Epps says he's an American wedding planner and Oath Keeper chapter president. #1 wedding planner to the Oath Keepers. I will say, weddings are a place that you give an oath. So that's totally fair. By the way, the head of the Oath Keepers is here with us in the audience. Stuart Rhodes is here today. It's not every day, of course. Not every day, of course, you get to meet someone who was convicted of seditious conspiracy against the United States. Hasn't happened in 30 years. Of course, sitting in the front row in the reserved section, which is controlled by my colleagues across the aisle. Not sure why he's here. I don't know if he's here to tell us about the Oath Keeper's secret handshake or what treehouse they meet in or whether girls are allowed in. I've always wondered that about the Oath Keepers. But yeah, he's here. I mean, I don't know. You have any questions, my colleagues across the aisle, for the head of the Oath Keepers that's sitting in the reserved section of this hearing? I mean, he wasn't pardoned. He's still convicted of seditious conspiracy. Something you guys say didn't happen, right? If there wasn't an insurrection, I don't know how you get convicted of seditious conspiracy. So, and then we got Mr. Speciale, who says, the reason we didn't catch the pipe bomber is because we were so focused on trying to catch Trump people, Trump supporters. Well, Mr. Speciale, breaking news, as it turns out, the pipe bomber is a Trump supporter. So you're right, they were focused on trying to catch people. Turns out, it's just that person, the person you're talking about. And so, I went to your website because you mentioned it, Mr. Speciale, and you put on your website that January 6th should not be forgotten, like the Holocaust and 9/11. It's interesting that you chose those two events that also have terrible conspiracies about them, right? Like the Holocaust didn't happen or it wasn't as bad, or that 9/11 was done by the Jews or an inside job, right? It's interesting that you lump in this one with those. I find that fascinating. The Holocaust happened, Mr. Speciale?
That's an asinine question. Of course it did.
Okay. 9/11 happened?
Of course it did.
Was 9/11 done by the American government?
I don't believe so, no.
It was done by the Israelis?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. 6 million people died in the Holocaust, right?
Yeah, I think that's the number.
Okay, so
I think it's actually worse than that when you think about all the consequences of all the soldiers and all the
tens of
innocent.
millions of people died in World War II.
yeah.
Yeah, 70 million actually, I think, is the number of total people that died in World War II. But this was a conspiracy.
Yeah, and I think that's the frustrating part for me is that we've got Congressman Raskin up there smiling while he's watching videos of one of the biggest tragedies that our country has ever faced, and he's over there giggling about how, and you're saying we should watch it over and over again. We should watch it over and over again. We absolutely should, because I think that day, were it not for Donald Trump saying, thank you, everybody, go home, it could have been worse. And instead, he said, go home. So, no,
reclaiming my time. Hold on, reclaiming my time. I love that. After the president told everyone to break the law, mid-law breaking.
He didn't tell everybody to break the law.
Hold on, mid-law breaking, he was like, okay, pull back.
He didn't tell everybody to break the law. He said, go there peacefully. The media distorted what he said. They edited the clips.
Was it peaceful?
And then the January 6th committee distorted it for all the American people.
Hold on, Mr. Speciale.
So
was it peaceful?
The truth of the matter is, Donald Trump said, go home. You've made your point, and they did.
Was it peaceful?
No, it wasn't peaceful.
Okay. Hanging Mike Pence, not peaceful.
That's asinine. Of course not.
Okay,
but
so it wasn't peaceful.
But I can explain better if you'd give me time. I would happily
No,
explain to you.
It wasn't peaceful because Ray Epps told people.
No,
not
it
to be
wasn't peaceful because the body of the. I've made this analysis. I've made this analysis over and over again, and I think it's very important, and it's lost on many people. The crowd of people that were there in attendance that day were a vast majority of them veterans and law enforcement, retired veterans and law enforcement. They were standing around, most of them, 99% were peaceful. And then the Capitol Police, I believe, panicked. I believe that they lost command and control in the Capitol Police, and they started CS gassing the crowd. Well, veterans are trained to do one thing and one thing only.
I forgot this shit.
Fight tyranny and fight injustice. That is what we're trained to do. So when the Capitol Police began CS gassing the crowd, the veterans and the law enforcement stepped forward to protect the crowd. And that right there is called a black swan. It is what I warned of in October of 2020 to the FBI Domestic Terrorism Task Force. That's how these things happen all around the world. They happen in Iran, they happen in Syria, they happen in Saudi Arabia, they happen in Libya. That's how it's done. And I was warning of that. And in this particular crowd, sorry.
Gentleman's time has expired. You can submit the remainder comments for the record.
Truly amazing how easy it is to make lunatics like Speciale look like the conspiracy theorists that they are by just simply letting them talk.
The Black Swan. Some bitch. How are you gonna get past the Black Swan? Alright, I think I need to get a skinny brush in here real quick. I am going to do something. A couple of parts that are bugging the shit out of me, more accurately. Details starting to come through, baby. Makes me wonder, because I know they talk shit about, like, you know, Grindr and whatnot. I wonder if that weekend, like, was it a weekend? I think it might have been a weekday. January 6th. I wonder what the activity was like on Grindr in DC. There would be some interesting stats. Unlike some hyper-aggressive down-low action after trying to overthrow the government. Nothing like it, people. So we're trying to make this look a little more natural. Give some of that light quality I was talking about. For some reason, this music makes me think of Hannibal Lecter asking for lamb chops. We're getting in pretty good here. Pretty damn good. Pretty stinking Mickey Ficky good. Pretty Mike and Ike and Tina type good. I think the last thing I'm probably going to do is we're going to get a little bit of white on the eyes, and I'm actually just going to start that out with here. This is my little white pen. It's got a brush tip on it, but I feel like if I start oh my god, disgusting. Laying these white marks in kind of as a reference. Then it is going to be all the easier to make the rest pretty convincing. And I have worked with this before. This doesn't say what it is, but it seems to work well with acrylic, so I'm pretty sure since it's pigmented that it is an acrylic. China white. What the fuck is this? Alright. bunch of mofos. I don't see anything else that I can really do at the moment. Because like I said, I think I'm going to have to wash me some brushes. And I'm probably going to have to go get a couple of little fine detail brushes. I had one that it was awesome, and I don't know what happened to it. I probably stuffed it in a drawer somewhere and told it to fuck off. And so it's just sitting there waiting, like an abandoned child. Yeah. But in any case, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Did some pretty decent artwork tonight. And I guess I'll, while I'm going over stuff, just to kind of let you guys know, like, this isn't everything that I do. During the day while I'm working, yeah, so final look at that. The darks and lights are starting to work to create a lot of depth, and the details are going to kind of continue to accumulate and make this convincing to the eye. You know, it's going to keep creating that illusion of depth, and that's really what you want, is you want that illusion of depth. And the more we work it, the better it's going to get. But honestly, I think I've got maybe one more session on this, a couple hours. And I think I've spent probably altogether about 20 hours on this. Of course, 20 hours sitting in front of it and 20 hours working on it. I'm probably closer to more like 10 hours working. So if we were going off what, according to a lot of experts, say you should charge by the hour for your artwork, that would be a lot of money if I charged what I wanted. But when I start selling these, I'm probably going to sell them pretty cheap, because I'm not at the point yet where I can just sell and people will automatically demand, or I have demand and people just sell. Whatever the fuck I'm trying to say. Jesus Christ. Bears. Okay. I decided I was going to sketch bears today. And so I had my pens out. I kind of went in and did roughing in everything with this good old graph gear pencil. This is a .7 size lead Pentel graph gear, and I don't know if this is visible on these lights, but this lead, it's red. And I had some other leads that were non-photo blue. I can't find what I did with them. I'm sure I bought like 10 packs, so I know I've got more. But yeah, I found it in red too. And so what I was doing as a, quasi comic book artist is I was roughing in figures in the blue and then putting their clothing or, other details in red. And that way, when I traced over them with ink, those would be easily erasable. So you see this goes on, and it's got that reddish hue. And so you lay in your inks, and I'm not even close to done with the inks. I'm still just in the fuck around stage. But once you're clear of that fuck around stage, you go in with this bad boy. I've got my General's tri-tip, And, shit, saying tri-tip just made me hungry. It's too late for this shit. But, check it out. This takes that off very easy from underneath the inks that you lay down. Lovely, right? So, and this is just a sketchbook page. This is not something that's going anywhere. This is just practice. That's what primarily sketchbooks are meant for, is to practice your techniques. You know, some people sell their sketchbook pages. I haven't been one to do that. These are too personal to me. Luchador. Not quite El Santo. But yeah, I wanted to try to get somebody convincing. And, well, he looks the part. Just haven't finished inking him yet. Couldn't be muscle bound. Need to be athletic. You know, luchador style. You know, otherwise, how's he gonna look good while he's coaching soccer in his leisure time and fighting the alien invasion? This is a movie that I saw with El Santo. If you don't know who El Santo is basically the god of the luchadors. Movies, comics, endorsements like crazy in Mexico, and just a cult figure like you wouldn't believe. Awesome shit. Fought aliens, had to wrestle them because they invaded while he was coaching a kid's soccer team. Yep. I'll leave it at that. So, in this hodgepodge mix of finishing my acrylic painting, leaving it in a place where I think it's alright. Got to watch some people attacking my girl Pam Bondi with the "how dare you" attitude. Yeah. Hey Pam, what did you eat for dinner? The important question is Donald Trump won by a landslide? Get a fucking salad, Pam, okay? Jesus fuck. Alright. But then we went into some conspiracy shit. The music didn't work out so well tonight. Holst, I'm going to have to retool you, bud. But, yeah. At this juncture, we're calling it a night. I've shown you my bears, my luchador. You know, the painting isn't the only stuff I do. Got to keep the skills sharp. Because honestly, if you watch other creators when they come on, typically it's either after a warm-up or they do the warm-up, you know, while they're on. Or I don't know how the digital creators typically warm up. Mystery to me. I haven't watched enough. Anyhow, for those who tuned in with me this evening, I appreciate it. Hopefully, will see me on here again this weekend. I sure would like to. We've got a 3-day weekend, so it's very possible after I watch wrestling on Monday, I'm going to be on here, possibly Sunday as well. Projects are in the works, baby, and I think I want to try to throw down a lot more in the sketchbook and show off some of that stuff. Mostly because I also want to kind of get rid of this sketchbook. I want to be done with it so I can go get a new one. because these pages, they're way too absorbent. Oh, check out that tricep pose. Fucking eat it up. And that's how we arrived at the Bears, I guess. Anywho, we're calling it a night. If you watched, I appreciate it. If you're watching after the fact, give me a follow. And if you have any criticisms, any desires, suggestions, requests, let it be known. Send me a message. I am happy to try and accommodate it as much as I can. But we're going to go ahead and call it a night. So, thanks for showing up. You guys take it easy. Well, we'll leave if I can actually make it leave. I'll leave when I'm ready. All right. Everybody have a good night.